We've long talked about the fact that we're trying to build a premier community. You don't build a premier community on your own. You do it with the interactions of a board that truly cares and points the direction. You do it with directors that are all rowing in the same direction. And when you have everybody working together like this, a special thing happens. And you stop building a premier community and you start becoming one. Van Buren Township is no longer building a premier community. It is becoming a premier community. And I'm so very proud of all the wonderful colleagues that I have working with me to make this happen. So the question became 6 years ago, how do you become a premier community? Well, first of all, we had to look internally at our buildings and our equipment and everything else. And quite frankly, it was all running on 20, 25 years old. We had equipment that barely was on the road. Their fire trucks were hanging on by a thread. They were in the shop more than they were on the road. We just had a real mess here. The administration building was falling apart. The Belleville Museum was on its last legs. The police department was in trouble. It was so bad that we couldn't even make a plan for it. We just had to start attacking one building at a time. And we did that for 5 or 6 years. Well, now we're at a point where we can start maturing and taking care of problems ahead of time. We can start maintaining our equipment. We've set up funds for the big items like fire trucks that constantly replenish themselves, so when a fire truck does go down in the next 5 or 6 years, there'll be money already in a fund to buy it.
In 2017, there was a hard look at the fleet and we were falling behind in replacement of the vehicles. So a plan was put in place where every year there's $100,000 that is put away for the equipment replacement for the apparatus, specifically the engines in the ladder truck. And having that reliability and safety that the firefighters know that the equipment's going to work for them takes one less thing that they have to worry about when they're on scene fighting a fire. So the blended rate program, which we did away with, incorporated police officers, one ordnance officer, and at one time even me when I was the 911 dispatcher. And what it was to help fill the gaps in the fire department because the paid-on-call system wasn't working. With the board this year, they came up with a solution. We were able to sunset that program, so I was able to improve the service for the fire department, the reliability of the scheduling, and also give a well-deserved break to those that put in a lot of time here over the years.
First department up is the Van Buren Township Police Department.
In law enforcement, the gold standard of meeting premier standards in the state of Michigan is the Michigan Association Police accreditation.
I would like to then offer a motion that we present the Van Buren Township Police Department to the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission for full accredited status.
Accreditation means that you're going to have a premier police force now and in the future, and it will constantly improve.
In order to have a premier community, you have to have a baseline as well as several various different auditors that are auditing you to determine if what you're doing is correct, is what you're doing industry standard, and is what you're doing premier.
What that took was every member at the department had to work on this, and we all had a little part in getting us there. And by doing that, it has made us much better, it has made us much more consistent, and it created a culture here of bringing us all together to accomplish that one goal.
There's other ways we're investing in the community, things that people don't see. We are now one of very few communities in the country that have surrounded its perimeter with a flock camera system.
The flock safety system is a tremendous asset to us in law enforcement. This is really a game changer for us. But what this camera does, it gives us a tool that'll point us in the right direction of where a vehicle may have been that was involved in a crime or is wanted.
The safety of the township is not taken lightly by the police department or the fire department. And we are doing our absolute best to obtain the most up-to-date training, education, anything that will make us do our job better and keep us compliant with the law and also reduce liability. That's what we're doing.
So for right now, we've completed most of the infrastructure of our administrative fire, and police. We are now working on the parks.
When residents or visitors come to our parks, they'll notice a few new improvements from last year. One of those are park signs. So we completed phase 1 this year, which was 4 new monument signs in our parks. That was at Riggs Park, French Landing, Van Buren Park, and Quirk Park. Later this fall, we'll be installing over 40 new interior park signs that help provide information and also directional signage for visitors.
At French Landing Park last year, we started with phase 1 of our construction. We renovated the park, we added new pathways and a beautiful tensile pavilion structure. Now this year in 2022, we're starting with phase 2. And phase 2 is going to bring us a renovated fishing dock, and we're also putting in a canoe and kayak launch. We want our residents to be able to access Belleville Lake safely, and this is a great place to put in and enjoy the lake.
So Director Zaenglein actually acquired a $100,000 grant from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation to restore natural landscape areas, habitats, and remove invasive species at Riggs Park.
Another section of Iron Bell Trail is going to be built down here in River Drive, and it's going to be going right along one of our parks. On Martinsville Road, we have Riggs Park, and our future plans include building a trailhead for the Iron Bell right there on the north side of Riggs Park.
Another capital improvement project that we will be doing in the fall of this year is replacing the 2 remaining pavilions at Van Buren Park to match pavilion number 2 that was installed in 2017. This will give a great fresh new look to our pavilions, and we're really looking forward to renting them out to the public next year.
So this year we finished our pickleball court project. We added 4 new pickleball courts, 2 full tennis courts, a new fence, a new parking lot, and we worked in partnership with the Waverly Apartments, and the Van Buren Civic Fund donated the funds to do the shade structure. Our pickleballers love it over there. We started our community center project prior to COVID, so we've been working on it for a long time. It's been a dream of everyone in the township to add this to our community. We should be breaking ground later this fall. We are so excited, we can't wait.
So there's a ton of different spaces that the community can look forward to in the community center. There are fitness areas for group fitness, also individual exercise equipment areas, multi-purpose rooms that individuals can rent out. There's a teen space, elevated walking track, improved areas of the senior center, and just so much more.
The new senior community center will attach to it with an outdoor concert venue that will back up almost to the ballpark area that will be removed. So you're going to have a venue where you can have an outdoor concert, you can have a splash pad, a kids area for playing, the outdoor play area. It'll have a refreshment stand, it'll have changing rooms and bathrooms. This is going to be a wonderful venue to have outdoor events for Van Buren Township residents.
So also because of the community center construction, we were required to move our Forgotten Harvest mobile pantry. And we're very grateful to be able to partner with Wayne County Community College, the Ted Scott campus located in Van Buren. And we plan to host the pantry there on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of every month.
We're going to take our money, Van Buren Township money, and we're going to invest in the best investment we can think of. And that is, we're going to invest it in Van Buren residents.
Well, the sidewalk project is a project that's taking place in one of our older communities, which is Haggerty subdivision. This project consists of about 46,000 square feet of sidewalk. The sidewalks is over 50 years old. It's gonna beautify the community. It's gonna give kids a safe passage to and from school. It's gonna give kids a way they can ride their bikes and not in the street. I think the residents of the community is very excited to see it finally come to life, and I think it's a good thing.
We're not just trying to build wealth for the residents, we're trying to build wealth for the businesses also. Part of that is by building out infrastructure properly. Haggerty Road between Ecorse and Van Buren Road is probably the best classic example of that.
The Haggerty Road expansion is something that the township has recognized for several years as something that needs to be done as soon as possible.
Haggerty Road is a 2-lane road. We know expansion is coming. We know we can't stop it. To bury our heads in the sand and not expand these roads now as they come up for development would be assuring that we would be stuck in gridlock for the next 20 years. We're going to plan for the future and take care of this now.
We've pushed forward with a plan alongside our partners in Wayne County and with some of the businesses in that area to fully reconstruct the road from a 2-lane section to a 3-lane section with a left turn lane, as well as a traffic signal, which will help that area not only to grow in the future, but it's really just much needed to make it a passable corridor today. So we're really excited to push that project forward.
The local government here in the township work each and every day for the residents of the township to ensure that they have quality services, they have a safe community, clean community. I'm fortunate enough to live in the township. I love it. so it's a great thing.
We are continually striving to make this a place they want to come home to every night. They're proud to be here, and we also want them to look forward to all the exciting developments we have coming for them in the future.
We've come a long way since 2016, and we didn't get here by accident. Everything we do is done with the standard of premier in mind. Safety, high-level services, first-class amenities. Ultimately, we're trying to give the community a sense of pride and confidence that together with the schools and together with the organizations and the businesses, the homeowners associations, that together Van Buren is building toward a sustainable and a vibrant future. I'm not sure you're going to get a better take than that.